Alright, today I'm going to do a review on something a little different than I normally do, but since I use this thing all the time, I figured I'd go ahead and do a review on it and share it because I think it works so well. This is a HotLogic mini cooker, and what you can do with this is it's primarily used to just reheat meals. This one, they make two different versions of this. This one plugs in the wall, and they do make one for a car version that plugs in your cigarette lighter. If you do have this one, you can get an inverter for your car. A lot of the newer trucks and stuff already have the inverters. But guys, this thing works great. This is, like I said, this is the mini version, so you can make small meals on it. They do make different sizes of these. They're very inexpensive, and it probably pays for itself within the first week. I take all the leftovers. I'm like the garbage disposal of the home. Everything gets either frozen, it puts in containers, and I just take it to work. I just go in the freezer if I need meals to take to work with me. I throw them in the cooler, I put them in dishes, and I heat them up. You can use this at the hotel. You can plug it in where you work. If you work construction, you know, a couple hours before your lunch, you plug this in, heats everything up to a perfect 165 degrees, and your meal's ready. Like I said, it works way better than a microwave. You just have to be a little more patient with it. But I like it because, like chicken and pork and anything that you put in here, like a microwave, when you reheat it, it'll become really rubbery, and this, it doesn't do that. Everything comes out perfectly moist and delicious every time. The greatest part about this is I don't have to eat out as much, and usually we make so much food that we have just a little bit left over, but not enough for the next day. So just instead of throwing all that food away, everything goes into a freezer bag or a dish, and then I just stockpile it in the freezer, and it's good for up to a year. And it saves me from having to eat out, and I get good food every day, warmed up and hot. You can make soups or pretty much anything you want. It's in a container in this to heat it up. And usually the soups I found in about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, if you take it out of a cooler on ice, it's almost to the point to where it's a little too hot to eat. So it heats it up to a really good temperature. Today I'm going to do a test on this. I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to put some food in this, and then we'll go ahead and hit it with a thermometer and take temperatures on it, and we'll see how long it takes. I'll time it to heat up food. Alright, before we get started on the test, I just wanted to go over a few things that you can use in this. I've used these Rubbermaid containers, the plastic ones. They do heat up in here. They work. I don't think it's your best option. What I found is the Pyrex dishes work about the best. This is the 3-cup one. This one works very well. It fits in here nicely and has room. Seems like these heat up a little quicker, and I don't know if it's because they're smaller, the heat can escape around them better. The only disadvantage to the glass Pyrex is a lot of times I have to eat it while it's still in here, because the glass, sometimes if you leave it in, you either have to use towels or something to lift it out because it gets extremely hot. But I have plenty of these Pyrex containers I've bought. You can get them, I believe the HotLogic, some of them come, you can get them with the containers if you'd like, but I've just purchased them all at the, my local store. I like these for like soup or small meals, and then I got some of the 6-cup too, and that's what I'm going to be using today. If I have the 6-cups, work out nice because you can put, like now I got like pork, potatoes, and a vegetable. So if you have a big meal like steak, potato, that kind of stuff, the 6 quarts seem to work better like that. Nice thing with this is for people that like to work out and stuff, you can meal prep with this. You can do all your chicken or rice or whatever you want to do, and you can just throw these. Like this one came out of the freezer. A lot of times I'll just throw them in there if I'm going to eat them within a week or two. I just put them right in these containers and freeze them. Then I can stick them in my cooler, but I wouldn't leave them in there too much longer than that because you'll risk freezer burn. Everything else, like beef and noodles, any kind of leftovers, stuffed pepper soup, I just throw everything in the freezer bags and mark them. And like I said, I can usually keep them for about a year and they're still good. They usually don't get freezer burn or anything. So it's really nice. You can save money and you can eat better and waste less food. Let me go ahead and reposition here. We'll plug this in and I'll show you what we're going to cook today. Alright, to show you what we're getting started with, I got a Pyrex 6-cup container here full of pork and sauerkraut that I made a couple days ago, mashed potatoes and peas. I got it all in one dish. I'm going to put it in here. I got a stopwatch and an infrared thermometer. I'm going to put my meal into the Hot Logic. We'll plug it in. I'll take a temperature right when we start it to see how cold it is, and this just came out of the refrigerator, and then I'll come back every like 15 minutes or so and we'll do a temperature check and just to sort of see the progress of this thing heating up. Alright, I got the Hot Logic plugged in. I'm hitting the thermometer on it. It's up to 75.6. It just went up 5 degrees since I plugged it in. We'll try the food, and my food is right around 42 degrees. So potatoes about 43, 42, meat 42. We'll throw this in. I'll set the timer and then we'll come back 15 minutes and check it every 15 and see how hot we can get it before we can eat it. Alright guys, I decided to go half an hour instead of every 15 minutes because I don't think 15 minutes would make that big of a deal, but it's been a half an hour since we put it on. It was 42 degrees. We'll hit it with the thermometer. And the potatoes are up to 65. And the meat's up to 71. So it rose about 30 degrees in a half an hour. I'll put the lid back on it and seal it, and we'll come back in an hour and see what it is. Alright, so we're right about the 1 hour mark. It smells good. You can see it steaming. We'll go ahead and hit the potatoes first. And we're up to almost, well, 105 degrees on the potatoes. And about 111 on the meat. 120 on the peas. So we'll let this go just a little bit longer. Usually anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half is what I usually leave it at. And we'll leave it on for about 15 minutes and come back and check it, and it should be ready to eat. Alright guys, I got a little sidetracked, was doing some things, lost track of time. So it's been on hour and 45 minutes, but I did forget that the bigger ones, they usually generally do take longer, and everything usually depends on how cold it is when you put it in. Now I can tell hour and 45, this thing is definitely going to be hot and ready to eat. When I peel this back, you'll see that steam. Look at all the moisture and water come off of that. That's how you know that you don't get that like slimy, rubbery. All your food stays nice and moist. Let me hit these potatoes and we'll see what we got. 127 on the potatoes and about 135 on the meat and 145 on the vegetables. So let me go grab a fork and I'm going to dig into this and see how hot it is. So about an hour and 45 minutes. Like I said, usually anywhere between an hour and 15 and an hour and 45. Usually potatoes are the worst ones because it takes a lot to heat them up. And they're perfect. So with the big Pyrex, even for the vegetables, hour and 45. Any hotter than that, you probably wouldn't be able to eat it. The meat's hot. It probably could go another 15 minutes. But there you go, about 2 hours of one of these. Heats it up perfect. And like I said, the nice thing about these is probably within 1 week, this thing would pay for itself for just not eating out fast food and stuff. All the leftovers and everything, not to mention, like I said, if you wanted to eat healthier, pack decent food. Nice thing with this is you can use it like even if you're a truck driver, you can use it on the construction site. Even if you're have an office job, you can bring your food with you. A few hours before lunch, you can go ahead and throw this on your desk and plug it in, and you don't have to worry about fighting for a microwave or anything like that. You can sit right in your office and have a nice home-cooked meal. Check the description below. I'll throw some links on both of these in there, on the one with the car charger and the one plugged in like I showed you. Like I said, I've used this thing a lot, especially going into winter. I'm going to use it even more for soups and stuff, and definitely glad I found this product and it works great. Thanks for watching.